Yo, what's up gamers? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe button because today we're diving into the absolute cream of the crop when it comes to PS5 single-player games that don't just look like movies, they feel like them. We're talking Hollywood-level cinematography, stories that'll make you ugly cry at 2 a.m., and gameplay that makes you forget you're holding a controller. We've got 20 bangers on this list, counting down from yeah, that's fire to holy crap, is this real life? So grab your snacks, settle in, and let's get into it. Kicking off at number 20, we've got Stray, and yes, you're a cat. But this isn't some cutesy pet simulator, this is a full-blown cyberpunk mystery that hits like a Pixar film crossed with Blade Runner. The neon-lit dystopian city is jaw-dropping. Every rain-soaked alley, every flickering hologram, every rusted robot NPC has a story. You're navigating this vertical maze, and the environmental storytelling is chef's kiss. The cinematography uses tracking shots that follow your feline movements, making every leap and prowl feel intentional and dramatic. Your companion B12 adds the emotional core, a drone with fragmented memories trying to piece together what happened to humanity. The relationship between cat and robot is genuinely touching. Combat is minimal, but when those Zerks swarm you, pure tension. The score swells during chase sequences, and escaping feels like an action movie climax. Plus, you can meow on command. 10-10. Number 19 is Kena, Bridge of Spirits, and this is what happens when Pixar decides to make a video game. The visuals are so gorgeous you'll think you accidentally booted up a Disney Plus original. Every frame looks like concept art come to life. Sweeping camera angles, emotional close-ups during story beats, and a color palette that shifts from vibrant forests to hauntingly beautiful corrupted zones. Kena's journey as a spirit guide helping lost souls move on hits you with themes of grief and healing. It's Coco, but you get to bonk things with a staff. The Rot companions? Adorable and functional. Boss fights have that epic fantasy scale. Massive corrupted creatures with multi-phase battles and orchestral scores. The environmental storytelling is on point. You're piecing together tragic backstories through the world itself, no exposition dumps needed. Number 18, we've got A Plague Tale, Requiem, and this is medieval horror done right. Think The Last of Us meets Game of Thrones with a rat apocalypse, and it's absolutely brutal. Amicia and Hugo's sibling bond is the emotional anchor. The mocap captures every moment of fear, desperation, and protective love. You're sneaking through war-torn France, avoiding soldiers and literal waves of flesh-eating rats. The lighting is cinematic gold, torches create safe zones, shadows hide danger, and the contrast is stunning. The set pieces are insane. A bridge collapsing under rat swarms, a burning ship escape, a village siege. Each chapter escalates the stakes. The game doesn't shy away from darkness. Characters die, Hugo's condition worsens, and the ending is devastating. The score by Olivier Derivière is hauntingly beautiful, elevating every emotional beat. Number 17 is Returnal, and this is psychological sci-fi horror that would make Christopher Nolan jealous. You're Celine, an astronaut trapped in a time loop on a hostile alien planet, and every death resets the nightmare. The narrative structure is non-linear and fragmented. You're piecing together Celine's past through creepy house sequences that randomly appear. These moments shift from alien planet to suburban horror, and it's genuinely unsettling. Arrival meets Edge of Tomorrow meets Hereditary. The cutscenes use long takes and smooth transitions between gameplay and cinematics. Combat is fast, brutal ballet, dodging bullet hell patterns while landing precision shots. Boss fights are towering alien monstrosities that test your sanity. The haunting, pulsing soundtrack keeps you on edge the entire time. At number 16, we've got Deathloop, and this is Groundhog Day meets Ocean's 11 with murder. You're Colt, stuck in a time loop on an island full of people who want you dead. Kill 8 targets before midnight or relive the same day forever. The 60s-inspired aesthetic, funky soundtrack, and sharp dialogue scream Tarantino. Colt and Juliana's chaotic, flirtatious rivalry is legitimately entertaining. Their voice acting is top tier, and their banter makes every encounter feel like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. 4 distinct districts with different time-of-day variations that change layouts and story beats. You're constantly learning intel, connecting dots, planning the perfect loop. Every assassination feels like a climactic heist. The cinematography is slick, smooth camera work, stylish transitions, and a color palette that pops. Number 15 is Resident Evil Village, and Capcom said, "What if we made RE4 but with vampires, werewolves, and a lady so tall the internet lost its mind?" The game is structured like an anthology horror film. Each lord rules a different area with unique aesthetics. Lady Dimitrescu's castle, classic vampire movie. Donna Beneviento's house, psychological horror that'll mess you up. Heisenberg's factory, industrial steampunk chaos. Ethan's journey to save his daughter gives it emotional weight. Combat is visceral. You're managing limited resources, crafting on the fly, desperately clutching that shotgun when werewolves charge. The Duke adds personality and dark humor. That ending? Pure blockbuster, explosions, emotional sacrifices, and post-credits teases. At number 14, we've got Horizon Forbidden West, and this is The Last of Us meets Jurassic Park meets Avatar. The opening alone rivals any blockbuster. Collapsing buildings, machine stampedes, breathtaking vistas. Aloy is one of gaming's best protagonists. The mocap and voice acting bring incredible depth. You see her grow from lone wanderer to leader. Facial animations during conversations are Naughty Dog level quality. The world is alive. Sunlight filters through dense jungles. Bioluminescent plants glow at night. Weather systems dynamically shift atmosphere. Machine fights are choreographed like Pacific Rim, rolling, sliding, targeting weak points. Side quests have full narrative arcs with emotional payoffs. The main plot tackles legacy, environmentalism, and survival with epic adventure scope. Number 13 is SIFU, and this game said, "We're making a kung fu movie starring you." It's the Raid meets Oldboy meets John Wick. Every level is a self-contained action sequence. The nightclub, pure neon-soaked chaos. The museum, elegant brutality. Combat is mocapped from real martial artists. Every punch, kick, and parry flows seamlessly. The camera uses long takes during fights, making you feel like you're in a one-shot action scene. The aging mechanic adds narrative weight. Every death makes you older. Scars deepen, posture shifts, movements become refined but slower. It's a visual representation of experience. Boss fights are personal, intense duels with no gimmicks. The sound design sells every hit. Bones crack, wood splinters. SIFU is the greatest kung fu flick never made. At number 12, we've got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Pixar should throw in the towel because Insomniac is coming for that animation throne. This is Guardians of the Galaxy meets Spider-Verse. The fur rendering, particle effects, lighting, it's photorealistic CGI in real time. Cutscenes blend seamlessly into gameplay. The dimension hopping is pure spectacle. You're mid-combat, rip open a portal, bam, completely different world. The PS5's SSD makes it instantaneous. Rivet is fantastic. Her banter with Ratchet and friendship with Kit create genuine emotional beats. Set pieces are massive, grinding through collapsing dimensions, riding space dragons, battling in pirate arenas. The weapon variety keeps combat fresh. It's colorful chaos that balances humor, heart, and stakes. Number 11 is Hitman 3, and if you've ever wanted to star in your own international espionage thriller, this is it. You're Agent 47, the world's deadliest assassin, and every mission is a sandbox of possibilities. Each level is a different genre film. Dubai's skyscraper infiltration, Dartmoor's murder mystery like Knives Out, Berlin's nightclub where former allies hunt you. The cinematic presentation uses smooth camera movements, dramatic lighting, and minimalist tension. The player agency is what makes it cinema. You're the director, full stealth, orchestrated accidents, or going loud. The game rewards creativity, poisoning drinks, sabotaging photo shoots, disguising as detectives. The trilogy's conclusion ties everything together. Agent 47's journey from tool to self-aware individual is genuinely compelling. At number 10, we've got Demon's Souls, and From Software remade this with such care it's basically a dark fantasy film you can touch and immediately die in. Welcome to Boleteria. Hope you like pain. Bluepoint went hard on visuals. The architecture, lighting, atmospheric fog, Guillermo del Toro designed every frame. Tower of Latria, nightmare fuel. Shrine of Storms, hauntingly beautiful. The camera lingers on grotesque enemies, pulls back to reveal towering bosses, frames the desolate world to emphasize isolation. Combat is weighty and deliberate. Boss fights are epic confrontations. Dragon God, Storm King, Maiden and Black's protectors. The lore is environmental and cryptic. You're piecing together Boleteria's fall through item descriptions and world design. The haunting score and oppressive atmosphere create a dark fantasy epic. Number 9 is Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, and Sucker Punch said, We're making a playable Akira Kurosawa film, and they nailed it. This is Seven Samurai meets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The game has literal Kurosawa mode, black and white with film grain. But even in color, every frame is wallpaper-worthy. Fields of pampas grass swaying, sunlight through trees, cherry blossoms during duels, poetry in motion. Jin's journey from honorable samurai to vengeful ghost is a classic hero's arc. The mocap and voice acting, especially Japanese with subtitles, bring authenticity. Combat is choreographed sword fights. Duels are personal one-on-one confrontations with minimal UI, dramatic showdowns. Side quests are tales, fully voiced stories about supporting characters. Masako's revenge, Yuna's loyalty, Norio's faith, subplots with depth. Set pieces are massive, defending castles, liberating villages. The final act is pure blockbuster with bittersweet resolution. Masterpiece. At number 8, we've got Final Fantasy XVI, and Square Enix went full Game of Thrones meets Devil May Cry. Medieval political drama with kaiju battles. Cutscenes are mocapped with Hollywood production. 20-minute sequences with full voice acting, dramatic cameras, and orchestral scores. The story is mature and dark. Political intrigue, forbidden magic, world collapse. Characters die, betray, sacrifice. It's heavy and brutal. Icon battles are the set pieces. Kaiju fights, controlling massive summons, destroying landscapes, QTE-driven spectacles. Ifrit vs. Bahamut, cinema. The destruction and scale are pure blockbuster excess. Combat is flashy action. Combos, perfect dodges, cinematic finishers. Side quests flesh out the world meaningfully. Every quest feels intentional. The production never dips. Number 7 is Spider-Man 2, and Insomniac said, "We're making Spider-Man 2, 2004, meets the MCU meets The Last of Us," and they pulled it off. Peak superhero gaming. The opening rivals Infinity War. You're swinging as Peter, switching to Miles mid-battle against Sandman. Buildings collapsing, civilians in danger, two Spider-Men in harmony. Directed like a blockbuster action sequence. The story balances Peter's symbiote struggle, Miles coming into his own, and Venom craven threats. The mocap performances are phenomenal. Yuri Lowenthal as Peter, Tony Todd as Venom. Swinging through New York feels incredible. Web wings add exhilaration, gliding between buildings, zipping across Brooklyn. Combat is fluid and stylish. Boss fights are epic. Craven hunts, lizards rampage, final Venom confrontation. Side content is character-driven, not filler. It's constant wow moments. At number 6, we've got Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Capcom took a masterpiece and made it better. Survival horror meets action thriller, absolutely relentless. The RE engine creates oppressive atmosphere. The village siege, castle infiltration, island finale, every chapter escalates like a horror action film. Leon's characterization is perfected, quippy but vulnerable. His dynamics with Ashley, Luis, and Ada create emotional investment. Combat is visceral and tactical. Every shot matters. Ammo is precious. Melee finishers are brutal. Boss fights are intense. Del Lago's lake chase, El Gigante's brute force, Salazar's grotesque form, cinematic spectacles. Pacing is masterful. Quiet exploration, puzzles, resource management, explosive combat. The merchant adds personality. Set pieces are massive. Castle siege with catapults, minecart escape, island assault. Pure, refined excellence. Number 5 is Alan Wake 2, and Remedy casually dropped one of the most ambitious narrative games ever. Twin Peaks meets Silent Hill meets Inception, mind-bending masterpiece. The dual protagonist structure is genius, alternating between Saga Anderson, FBI agent, and Alan Wake, trapped in the dark place. Narrative is non-linear, layered, meta. Prestige TV directed by David Lynch. The live-action segments are wild. Full musical numbers, surreal talk shows, professionally shot sequences. Combat is atmospheric, limited resources, light as weapon, enemies from darkness. Sound design is oppressive, whispers, distortions, eerie hums. The dark place is a shifting nightmare. Buildings rearrange, logic breaks, reality is fluid. The story explores creation, obsession, identity. Alan's desperation is tragic. The ending is ambiguous and haunting. Interactive cinema at its finest. At number 4, we've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Square Enix said, "We're remaking a classic, but bigger." Empire Strikes Back meets The Lord of the Rings, absolutely massive. Every cutscene is cinematic. Dynamic cameras, perfect lighting, emotional framing. Voice acting is phenomenal. Cloud's mental deterioration, Aerith's fate, Sephiroth's manipulation, emotionally heavy and masterfully paced. Every party member gets meaningful development. The world is huge. Open zones with engaging side content, chocobo races, card games, combat challenges. Combat is peak action RPG, strategic depth, character switching, synergy attacks. Boss fights are multi-phase battles with orchestral scores. Set pieces are unforgettable. Junon Parade, Gold Saucer Date, Temple of the Ancients. The ending is controversial and bold, a 60-plus hour epic that earns every minute. At number 3, we've got God of War Ragnarök, and Santa Monica delivered the return of the king of video games. Norse mythology meets father-son drama, emotional roller coaster. The entire game is one continuous shot, no cuts, no load screens. Technical and artistic flex making every transition seamless. Kratos and Atreus' relationship is the heart. Christopher Judge and Sonny Suljic deliver award-worthy performances. The emotional beats, arguments, reconciliations, pride, genuinely moving. The world spans 9 realms. Each has unique aesthetics and mythology. Combat is brutal. Leviathan axe, blades of chaos, new abilities. Boss fights are mythological showdowns. Thor, Odin, Nidhogg, multi-phase spectacles. Supporting characters shine. Mimir's humor, Freya's redemption, Sindri's tragic arc, Thor's complexity. The story tackles fate, legacy, breaking cycles. The ending is bittersweet and cathartic. Masterpiece. Number 2 is The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and this game is a brutal, unflinching masterpiece. Revenge thriller rivaling Oldboy and No Country for Old Men. The mocap is industry-leading, every facial expression captured with devastating realism. Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey are phenomenal. The dual narrative is ambitious. Ellie's revenge, then seeing the other side through Abby. Uncomfortable, challenging, brilliant. Combat is visceral and desperate. Every encounter feels dangerous. Crafting on the fly, stealth, brutal melee. Violence has weight. Every kill feels consequential. Enemy AI is smart, flanking and calling backup. Post-apocalyptic Seattle is beautiful. Overgrown buildings, decaying aquarium, haunting theater. The infected are terrifying. Clickers, shamblers, Rat King is pure horror. Set pieces are relentless. The ending is ambiguous and haunting. A game that stays with you, demanding reflection. And at number 1, the GOAT, The Last of Us Part 1. Naughty Dog rebuilt this masterpiece from the ground up, and it's the most cinematic gaming experience on PS5. The road meets Children of Men, absolutely perfect. The rebuilt visuals are photorealistic. Lighting, textures, facial animations rival Hollywood CGI. Cutscenes blend seamlessly into gameplay. You forget you're holding a controller. Joel and Ellie's journey is gaming's greatest story. Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson deliver career-defining performances. The mocap captures subtle emotions. Joel's walls crumbling, Ellie's innocence fading. Pacing is masterful. Quiet connection, tense stealth, explosive combat, puzzles, perfectly balanced. Every chapter feels like prestige TV. The giraffe scene, pure beauty. Winter section, brutal and unforgettable. Combat is grounded and desperate. Resources are scarce, encounters deadly. The infected are horrifying. Clickers hunting by sound, bloaters tanking damage. The world tells stories without words. Abandoned houses, environmental clues. Gustavo Santaolall's score is hauntingly beautiful. The ending defines Joel and sets up everything. Morally gray, emotionally complex, demands discussion. It's not just a game. It's interactive cinema that changed the medium. The pinnacle. Alright gamers, there you have it. 20 PS5 single-player games that are basically playable movies. These aren't just games you play, they're experiences you live. From brutal revenge quests to emotional father-son journeys, from kung fu epics to Norse mythology, the PS5 is absolutely stacked with cinematic masterpieces. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite hidden gem on PS5 that feels like a movie? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm always looking for my next obsession. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more gaming goodness like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.